Good morning, all. Whoops, is this on? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll hold it. I am Kate Dahlstedt, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of this Unitarian Universalist Society. I use she, her pronouns. Welcome to you, old friends and new, in this Zoom and in the sanctuary. You are an essential part of our celebration today, whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst. We are stronger because you are with us. As part of our effort to seek feedback on the governance of our congregation, you are invited to join us during the first 15 minutes of any regular meeting of the board, chatting with us during the social hour, or by using the email address board@uusocietyamherst.org. We are grateful to be in community with you.
So I'm Reverend D.L. Heifer. I am a Unitarian minister and a social worker. I don't serve a congregation at this time. I work out in the world doing other kinds of work that I'll talk your ear off about if you want to know. We live in Providence. I share my home with my partner, Mimi, and two very, very rambunctious cats. And with that, let us begin our service and our chalice lighting. Where's Jennie? Our community knows no boundaries. We are not confined by the physical limits of walls, or for that matter, of what often binds us, restricts us, holds us back. We are freer than we know, and when we release ourselves and each other from expectations of what is needed or true, we are here together in space. And so we light this chalice, a beacon of community holding us all together here now. I invite you to rise and body your spirit, or stay seated if that's better, and sing Just as Long as I Have Breath, hymn number 6. You'll also find it on the screen.
My name is Andrew Coate. My pronouns are he, him, and I serve as the Director of Religious Education here. And I would like to invite any of the children to come forward to receive some stickers. But then I'll tell you what they are afterwards. Well, maybe you'll get some. Take a sheet. So I would like to propose a different idea. All of you have a job right now, especially right now. And that is to be kids, to spread joy, to have fun, to just be in the moment. Because right now, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. There are politics, there are, stuff, there's people fighting. Do you want one, Freddie? You don't have to take one. Can I give one to your dad? I see one in your hand. So I am going to give you all a job, and that is to have fun and spread joy. And so you all have a handful of stickers. There are some more if you end up needing more. And I want you to go out. You don't have to give one to every single person if they don't want one, but I want to task you with spreading a little bit of joy around this congregation right now. And with that said, looks like we still have some stickers being passed out.
But they're beautiful. And I also have stickers if you didn't get them. So our reading today is by Rosemary Watola Trummer, entitled Inviting Spaciousness. And I invite you to lower your gaze or close your eyes as you're comfortable and just hear it. Today, when the heart is a small, tight knot, I do not try to untangle it. I don't tug on the strings in a desperate attempt to unravel it. I don't even wonder how it got so snarled. Instead, I imagine cupping it, cradling it, with my hands like something precious, something wounded, a bird with a broken wing. I cradle my heart like the frightened thing it is. I imagine all the other frightened hearts and imagine them being held in love. And I breathe. I breathe and feel how the breathing invites a spaciousness. I breathe and let myself be moved by the breathing as I soften and open. Open and soften. And nothing changes, and everything changes. The heart, still a knot, remembers and knows how to love, and that it is not alone. I invite you to maybe stay seated and join me in hymn number 389, Gathered Here. So I have a kind of prelude to the sermon, I guess. I realized in the first paragraph, I refer to something called the Transgender Day of Remembrance. And I don't know if everyone here knows what that is, so let me just bring us all on the same page. It happens this Wednesday, and once a year, we remember all the transgender and gender diverse individuals who have died and who have thrived. And it's both kind of a memory and a going forward. And I think that's all I'll say right now before the sermon. Glad to talk to you more later. So it's hard to know where to start with you today. As a proud transgender individual, preaching to you during this week leading up to the Transgender Day of Remembrance. In a time and a space when the vitriol against our very existence is ever more present. And it's hard to know what to say when just in my circle this week, 3 trans youth and adults committed suicide because of what they know is coming. The end of gender-affirming care and lots of hateful actions, both official and not. And it's hard to live in a time both experiencing pain and waiting for that pain to worsen, both knowing and not knowing the damage that will be done to so many people, so many communities. And it's hard to protect others when I too am scared. To keep fighting what feels like a Sisyphean battle, that eternal rock up the mountain only to watch it fall again. But if that's the sermon I give you, it's a terrible sermon because it lives in the pain and the fear. I don't think I need to tell you that history and our lives are full of hard times. Times we thought we couldn't bear and times we thought we would not make it through. Times our sadness and despair threatened our very core. Times we just couldn't see a better future up ahead. And yet history is rife with people overcoming what seems like insurmountable obstacles. People who come together and achieve shared purpose and a commitment to a shared goal. I think of the Berlin Wall coming down in my lifetime. I think of MIAs found and brought home. I think of Argentinian mothers who searched for decades for their missing children, stolen under a long ago dictatorship. I think of all the ways hopeful and painful, enduring and insistent, we work and watch and wait for justice. And your presence here tells me that you're navigating that, and maybe you still are, that you know something about endurance. Would you raise your hand if you know something about endurance? Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you. That you know about caring for each other. You know about finding your way to a better time. And that, my friends, that is the work ahead. Because we know that there will be lots of tangible needs. Maybe this becomes a sanctuary church. I was thrilled this week when I heard Governor Healy say already that this is a sanctuary state. Maybe this very LGBTQ friendly, I can't believe both the DRE and your preacher day are both trans, that excites me to no end. Maybe this very LGBTQ friendly church becomes sanctuary to community. Maybe you're in dialogue or part of those already protecting immigrants, those of Muslim faith, those working for reproductive justice, and more. These tangible ways to be of help are many and are good, and I thank you for your good work there. But that's still not the work ahead as far as I see it, not solely. Because in tandem, strengthening and replenishing our own and each other's sense of resiliency is what will get us through these times. And I want to be specific together about what elicits and supports resiliency. I want to start with the physical and the spiritual. When we're scared, our bodies shut down. A good friend described to me this week that she can't bear to hear some of the news, and every time she hears the news, her body clenches up. And so she's testing. She's opening up a little bit, breathing to kind of recenter, and then she's closing back down, and she's doing this again and again and again until the news feels less inflammatory. So instead of running from that feeling, they're using it as a spiritual practice, listening to the news a little more each time. And it doesn't make it any better, the news itself, but it tells the body that we're not in immediate crisis and it's okay to relax. Because even when we are in crisis, our bodies can't live there. We need to let them have time off. Because when we're relaxed, we think creatively, and it becomes this kind of helpful cycle of sustaining feedback. Okay, second part of resiliency, and I know you know this. We need each other. I notice my own reflex in the mornings. Tell me if this is yours, to want to stay in bed with my partner on the couch lately, to not want to start the day. Anyone else feel this? And it's no judgment if that's where you are. Even if that's why you're on Zoom this morning, that's fine. Because many of us are feeling scared, and the reflex for solitude, for making our circles smaller rather than larger, is a really understandable reflex. But it isn't what we actually need, or not long term. We need healthy, connected, loved people. And if you're not already organizing, and I'm guessing most of you are, go find the work that interests you. Climate change, health, poverty, homelessness, it doesn't really matter what, because it's all part of the whole. But what does matter is that we are tied in, that we are so closely tied in that when choices begin to get made that threaten the most vulnerable among us, we have strong, connected community who already knows how to work together. And connection isn't just about organizing. Lean into those treasured friendships. Check in on isolated members and friends. And remember to have fun together. However you do it, our circles of trust and connection will both get us through this while also making it feel less isolating and hard. 3, lean into joy. Stickers, always stickers. A friend of ours recently remarked that she is literally counting her joys every day, that that's her activity, that there's this simple brilliance in that. It's a reorientation of our heart and spirit. I myself have a gratitude practice with my partner every night. We tell each other 3 good things that happened that day. In hard times, celebration and joy aren't optional. They are absolutely not optional, but something that we need to center. So I ask, what are you doing for yourselves and each other that is heart-opening and heart-filling? Cookies for breakfast, yes. So as you name these joys, do you find maybe that you feel a little freer, a little hopeful, just a little happy? Great. Keep doing that. And that leads into, for me, what I think of as the last leg of resilience, which is faith, which is what brings us here on Sunday morning. And we all know that we interpret faith differently. That's fine. But faith of any form means endurance. It's as simple as that. I often get very frustrated with the fact that evangelical churches give poor people the promise of a better life in the next life. Not here and now, but it's this promise that holds them and keeps their faith going. And as angry as I sometimes get, I realize lately that I'm wrong, because they're living in faith that is sustaining them right now, and that's not mine to judge. So I want us to learn to lean into whatever faith we have that sustains us, that moves us forward. We might not, as a whole, largely believe in an afterlife, but what we do have in common is a shared understanding that we are working together to make a better world. And it's as simple as that. So lean into your spiritual practice. Do you pray? Do you dance? Do you sing? Do you eat cookies for breakfast? Whatever that practice is, do it more. I often quote the Dalai Lama, who used to say, I pray for an hour a day, but when I feel busy, when I have no time, I pray for 2 hours a day. And that is the practice here right now. I know as I share all this with you that none of it is earth-shatteringly new or different, or it may be that it's even exciting, but these practices of resilience can and do help us get through much more challenging times. And that's where I return to where I began talking about Transgender Day of Remembrance. When we mark that day this Wednesday, it's not just a sorrow of lives lost, but a statement of our tenacity, of our intent to continue, to say that we are still here and we're going to continue to be here. Resilience, community, and faith, that's what keeps us going. So may your resilience help you this day and all days, and may our promises of a shared faith buoy us through these times. Blessed be. As I was listening to you and the very real joys and sorrows you carry, I was thinking about how in the late 1800s, Unitarianism separated from the Congregational Church. And we did so because we understood that it wasn't God we needed as some intermediary. We need each other. And that is our way into faith. And that is what I offer you today in the way of prayer, is that may you always know that you have people to hold you in these times. May you always feel the love and the warmth of community. And may that always be true. Please join me in the words of extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. This we carry in our heart until we are together again. So our closing words, which somehow didn't print, you know, thankful for technology, are by Adrienne Marie Brown, and it's called Embodied Connected Pleasure. And I just thought it was a good send-off for the week. She says, true pleasure, joy, happiness, and satisfaction has been the force that helps us move beyond the constant struggle, helps us live and generate futures beyond this present, futures worthy of our miraculous lives. Pleasure, embodied connected pleasure, is one of the ways we know we are free, that we are always free, that we have always had the power to co-create the world. Pleasure helps us move through the times that are unfair, through grief and loneliness, through the terror of genocide, or days when the demands are just overwhelming. Pleasure heals the places where our own hearts and spirits get wounded, reminds us that even in the dark, we are alive. Pleasure is medicine for the suffering that is promised in life. May you go in peace.